Helen Walker is a kindergarten through 5th grade music teacher with 18 years teaching experience, 12 being here in the United States, teaching at Doby's Mill Elementary in Kershaw County School District. Helen says to be a teacher, you have to love what you do, put your heart and soul into it. National Board certified, Helen engages her students through the use of technology and music play. Let's see how she integrates cross-curricular connections and makes learning fun.
Black keys, white keys, black keys, white keys, gave a little clap. I think I wanted to become a teacher from a very young age. My parents were my first teachers, and they instilled just a love of learning. And from those beginnings, I think that's where my love of teaching began, and it just grew and grew from there. And as my love of music developed, also the love of wanting to share music with others developed along with it. And by the time I got to university, it was teaching. That's what I need to do. This is what I feel I'm best suited for. So, and then teaching music, I couldn't have it any better. I've been in the United States since 2000, and I've been teaching in Kershaw County since 2000. So I began at Pine Tree Hill, and then Doby's Mill opened, and I've been at Doby's Mill ever since. Fortunately, been at Doby's Mill ever since. But I've been teaching 18 years total. Well, hey, how are you? I was born and bred in the United Kingdom, and Birmingham is my home, which is right in the centre of England. My path over here, I think, was led and set out very early on for me. I was over here with my parents when I was very young, about 8 or 9, and we did a little tour around the States. And when I got home, and it might sound a little corny, but when I got home, I think I left part of my heart here. I just fell in love with the culture and the country, even though I was very, very young. But I teach impressionable children, so I know what an impression that a country can make on students. So when I was able to finish my teaching degree, I started looking at what I could do with the world and how I could make myself more of a valuable professional within the world. And unfortunately, the 3rd year of my teaching degree, I lost my mum. And my dad said, we're still going to do this because you've got a degree to finish. I finished my degree, and 6 years after was when the international faculties were recruiting in England. And I went to my dad and I said, you know what, let me just try this for a year. I want to try living and working and teaching in the United States, taking what I can to the United States and then crossing that cultural divide and then maybe bringing that back. And my dad said, I'll be here when you get back. When I arrived in the States 6 months after, my dad suddenly passed away as well. And it was then decision time. Everybody, both sides of the Atlantic, said, you need to stay where you are, you need to finish your year. You're there for a reason. And I renewed my visa and renewed my visa. And 12 years later, I'm still here. And I think we're exactly where we're meant to be. And I know I'm meant to be here because I saw that I could fill a void musically and educationally, and that I could bring something different to my students and give them a world view that maybe they never had before. And I love my job, and I love doing what I do. Clap it with me. Ready, go. Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly. I think since 2000, the teaching profession has gone through dramatic changes. And I look back to what my classroom was like in 2000, 2001, and it was a very standard classroom with textbooks and paper and pencils and just a few instruments, but we would still manage to create our music, whether we were making our own instruments or using what we had, whether it be a limited stock or not, within the classroom. But now the education profession has moved on so much technologically. We're having to move on with it just to have our students keep up, ready for these 21st century skills, and further on, so that they really can compete in a world stage, whether they're using music as a professional choice or a recreational choice. So I've seen my classroom go from my music technology being a little battery-operated tape recorder to using music apps on the smart board, and most recently using the Wii Music system, and we were fortunate enough to get a grant this year that put 7 iPads in my music room. So the technology side of it, I think, has really grown in the last 12 years. But also the way students learn, that changes constantly. And you've got to keep up to meet them educationally where they are, to engage them and make sure that everything that they're doing, they're enjoying. And I strive to make it music play, because I know they're learning when they're playing, because the nature of children is, if we're playing, we're having fun. If we're learning and having fun, then I'm doing my job. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. With my philosophy of teaching in the music room, I use a multitude of different things. It really is a very cosmopolitan mix. The way that I implement it within the classroom is also to see how of the cross-curricular links I can incorporate. So speaking with my fellow teachers and administration and making sure that the standards, not only my music standards, but the classroom standards within ELA and social studies and mathematics, I can coordinate and have them run side by side simultaneously. And some of the things fit together extremely well, and other things, music is the vehicle through which I can direct ELA and vice versa. We did have some wars during the time that the blues began to be cultivated. So what period of time are we talking about? Has anybody got a date that they can put on this? Jaquan.
1860s.
1860s, it was the late 1860s. If music is not only in your mind, if you're thinking music and then you're singing music and then you're performing music, it's so much more valuable to incorporate the whole child with their hands-on activities. It's just incredibly valuable. And you'll see that within my classroom, because that's what we do every day. We're singing, we're moving, we're playing instruments, we're using our music technology where it's applicable to meet my music standards, but also to incorporate my cross-curricular standards with all of the other subjects of the curriculum. Sing it, 5th grade. Oh yeah. Oh, we don't have any homework, singing the homework blues. Yeah, good job. We have a great many challenges within the teaching profession, and I think we need to be our best advocates for ourselves, to advocate positively for the teaching profession, to show the media, to show the public, to show our communities and parents and students what we're positively doing within the classroom to enhance our students' learning, and show everybody that this is what we've got going on in the classroom, and this is how we're learning, and this is how it applies to their future, because the students that I'm seeing today are our future decision makers for the state, and that's so important that we give our all to them. As a teacher in public education, my platform is a little two-sided, because I want teachers to get excited about their profession again, to really be advocates and not apathetic about their profession. More than ever, we need to show the public, we need to show our parents and our communities that what we're doing is valuable, that our profession is one that should be revered. But also on the arts side of it, I really want to make sure that the arts are a prominent part in every child's life and not the first thing on the budgetary chopping block every year. Because I see what I refer to as the marginalisation of the arts happening nationwide, and we need to have those opportunities for our students to shine, to be able to perform whenever they can, because not every child is built for a college education or a specific career. Music might be their specific career, or they may be going to college for music, or music may just be a recreational part of their life. But it's been such an important part of my life, and it's a really big catalyst for change. Music can can make such a difference in people's lives on a daily basis. So as well as being an advocate for public education and the profession as a whole, I really do want to make sure that the arts maintain their prominence within the public education curriculum nationwide. The teaching profession is a really rewarding profession for me because I see the rewards daily with what my students give back to me. Because when I teach them a concept, a musical concept or a cross-curricular concept, they can teach it back to me or they can teach each other, then that is the reward that I see every day. Because that way I can step back and just be the facilitator and they have taken responsibility for their own learning, and that is all the reward I need. That's my kids.